Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we're going to be giving Albedo another look and seeing if we can do funny, stupid things with her. So, the reason why Albedo, in my opinion, is not that great is because of her first skill. The chance to stun, and Stern of Spirit, Wholehearted Devotion characters get a 40% stun strike. Alright, on the Stern of Spirit team with the Overlord characters, this is an unnecessary skill. There are a number of units that can out-damage Albedo, and it's just not that great. But, what if we don't use any Stern of Spirit units or characters from Overlord? And what if we make a whole team dedicated to Wholehearted Devotion? People who love you to death and will not take no for an answer. They want to give their heart and soul to you. They are ready to do anything that's necessary to get that W. So, I have made this team. I have made this team full of Wholehearted Devotion characters. Rimuru, he's going to lead. Albedo, she's going to quote-unquote support. Sokka, Wholehearted Devotion. She has the future hand of greens, which this is a green-focused team, which means that Rimuru is going to be eaten good. Mirin and Yom, they love each other very, very much, and they work well together because one of them is a triple blue orb changer, one of them is a triple orange orb changer. And then Shinja's here as some weird love child, I don't know. But she's going to be the single target quote-unquote nuker. Because she will benefit because we are stacking all element buffs and she will get it. She also has her own EX damage buff. The only thing that she's not going to get is extra attack for orange orbs because we're not going to have any. So, is she necessary here? Not really. We could bring Earth 2.0 Mirin if we wanted to. And she could be our single target nuker. In fact, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that instead. So I'm going to rebuild the team, I'm going to switch the supports and everything around, and we'll jump right into the battle. Okay, jumping into the stage, we're going to send the two blues first because I took out the skill point units and we brought in just the protection gauge. So we don't actually have enough points to orb change on turn 1 because Yom and Mirin both cost 35 for their triple change. But we do get pretty lucky. We get 2 more greens with another one on the way, so that's great. We just don't have a lot of points right now, which is a problem for this team, you know, starting out. Once we get a few stacks of Rimuru, greens are going to give us a lot of points. And that means that we're going to have a lot to play with, you know, when we hit turn 7 or 8. But we have to get to that point first. And here, we get kind of unlucky. We used up all of our green orb luck, and we're just gonna send these, because I don't want to really use anything. We're going to use the future hand, actually, and then next turn we can hopefully just have that one orange orb, and we can just send 5 greens. We'll have a stack of Rimuru, so that'll give us, you know, an extra 100% skill point gain on these. And eventually, once we start building up a good stockpile of points, we're just going to stun every single turn. And this is Inferno 3, in case I didn't mention that already. This is the stage with 2.7 million HP, and we are going to consistently stun lock him. So, we are attempting to make Albedo look good. And the best way to do that is to go into a stage that doesn't nerf greens. You have an entire team built around her skill, where everybody on this team gets the stun strike, and you're in a stage that you actually can stun. And so if you meet all of those qualifications, then yes, we can make Albedo look like the MVP of this team because she is doing so much. She's going to start stacking Despair. She's going to stun lock Leon for like 15 turns or something, and you know, that's awesome, but it's only in this stage, and anywhere else she's just not useful. That is not what makes a good unit. A good unit means you can use them in multiple places on multiple teams and not have them be restricted. Albedo is not one of those, but if we have the option to build a team around her, we can make it work. So here now, this is like the second stack of Rimuru that we've got. We've got a full hand of greens, and we have just enough points now to use another future hand of greens. And I think on turn 6, we start stun locking him, and it's just going to run like that the entire time. And because we're going to constantly have future hand of green orbs coming in, we don't really need Yom and Mirin anymore, because we don't need the orb changes, because we're going to get them anyways. Since we don't have Isis, we don't have like a big time green buff alongside it, which means that eventually we will not have a protector here and there. But by that point, we're going to have so many points stockpiled up from sending 6 greens and 5 greens that have been buffed by 500% that it doesn't really matter, right? So here, we don't need any orb changes. We're going to despair him now, we're going to stun him, and then we're going to reset everything, and then we're going to future hand again, and now this is what's going to happen for the entire rest of the fight. So reset with Rimuru. We're constantly stacking element damage on Albedo, so her orbs are going to do more and more and more. Not really using Mirren right now, but I think we will bring her in the next couple of turns, and we'll start sending single target ults against her. And because Earth Mirren, her skill, her Earth damage caps out at turn 10, we are definitely going to make it to turn 10. So we can use that at full power, and we can have a nice little heal here and there if we really, really need to. Here, we have another Rimuru, we have greens, we have another ult, so I'm actually going to take Yome out of here, and we're going to send all 3 ults and 3 greens. And we're going to reset, and we're going to stun, despair, reset, future hand of greens, and we keep going. And eventually, we will kill him using this team. It's not going to do it quickly. It's not pretty. Obviously, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4 EX characters, and then a very, very old Earth character. I wouldn't call it free-to-play friendly by any means, but you can certainly take, the EX Mirren out, put Isis in here. It'll run fine. She just won't get the stun strike, which doesn't matter. You could take Yome out of here. You could bring in free-to-play Earth Aaron or Sufia. You have the orb change. They're not on Wholehearted Devotion, but again, it doesn't matter. As long as, Albedo is going to be doing your primary damage, and you have the other Earth Mirren here. And then Soka, she's kind of the linchpin, right? She's always converting. Here, we're not able to use Rimuru to reset our skills, so we're going to have to bump everything up a bit. But this full 6-handed green will definitely get us a protector next turn, and then we can reset. But that pretty much means that our stun and our future hand are now locked at a higher cost, because we're not going to get a double protector with this team. It's just not physically possible. So the stun is going to be, that'll go back down to 55 points, but the future hand, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's going to cost 20 points more permanently at this point. But we have 450 points to use, which is oh no, it costs 60. What are we going to do? Oh wait, I have so many points it doesn't freaking matter. Alright, so there we go. Max points, 500. We've got another Rimuru to reset everything back down, and we are slowly but consistently doing more and more damage. And that is the important part, is 1, we're not dying, 2, we are taking him down, and 3, we are able to operate this team at maximum efficiency because of, I would say, the power of Rimuru and Soka, and then Albedo is here to ensure that we don't die. Because if we didn't bring Albedo and we were trying the strat, it wouldn't work. Because once we get him down to 25% HP, he would heal for 1 million or something. And also, by turn 10, he's starting to ramp up his light damage a lot. And we would just not survive to turn 15 or something. Because he would just straight up two-shot somebody with his normal attacks. And then we would be out. So, obviously, Albedo, very important. Rimuru, very important. Soka, very important. If you don't have Soka, you could bring in Mirai. That's totally fine. She's got the future hand of greens. As long as someone's giving you future hand of greens, or you have a lot of orb changers who can, take care of everything for you. Honestly, I would personally, if I wasn't using an entire wholehearted devotion team, God, that's a mouthful, I would have brought Isis and Sufia or something like that. And that way we would have Isis green buff, and that would ensure that we would have Rimuru every single turn for every single fight. And we could use him turn 1, and we could get a full hand of greens and 100 points in max gauge on turn 2. And that would actually make it run a lot more efficiently by, not trying to slam a bunch of weird EX characters on here, but bringing logical units. But even so, even making an illogical team, because the Wholehearted Devotion is by no means a good team, but it can get the job done. And that, again, is the most important thing. So here, Albedo looks great. She's doing wonders. She's doing everything that I need her to do in this stage, which is awesome. It's just that I cannot take this team into another stage and have that same level of efficiency and win percentage, because it just wouldn't work. The stage would nerf greens, or you wouldn't be able to stun, or I'd have to bring a whole team of not Wholehearted Devotion or Stern of Spirit, and then Albedo's usefulness really nosedives. So it is a super, super limited unit. Limited in, I would say, the same way that Summer Lumi is very, very limited. Only buffing Dark and Fire, only being really useful on a blue-focused team for her second skill. The Charm is, whatever. I would liken that skill to Despair as well. I think I made this analogy in my actual Albedo showcase, but Albedo feels like Vengeance, Veldora, and Shuna, where they had a vision for the team, which was a big damage green stacking team, and then they took a hard left turn, right? With Stun Strike. Just like the Vengeance team was all defensive with Vengeance and everything, and then they took a hard left turn and decided to put damage supports on there. I don't really get it, because I don't know if you were playing during the Vengeance meta, when that came out, like, the damage output you would do from your normal stuff is incomparable to the 500,000 per hit that we were doing with Vengeance. And it was more important to stack Vengeance than it was to get ult damage, because you do like 100k or something on an AoE. Like, yeah, that's cool, but we're doing 500k in AoE. We're doing 1.5 million on Vengeance. It's like, what do you think is more important? Tell me, what is more important? On this team, what is more important? The ability to stun on a nuke team, or the ability to nuke harder? Albedo sure does help us with damage, but there are other units that help us do that. But on the Stern of Spirit team, not on this team, because we have no way to make this team hit any harder. So, we left a turn where we didn't have Rimuru. We didn't use the future hand of greens, because it was going to get too expensive. So we banked on the orb changes that we have from Yom and Murin, and it worked out fairly well. We still stunned, right? We still needed to stun him, because we cannot take hits. Turn 14, he would murder somebody at this point. So we do need to keep him locked. But having the flexibility to, not use the future hand one turn, but still be able to orb change out of trouble is great. So Rimuru will reset us, and then that'll drop the future hand back down to 60. Now the stun is permanently at a 75 cost, because we've already used it twice now, and we've just reset it. But we have 750 points. And again, if you have enough, a 75 and a 60 point skill don't matter, because we have so much coming in every single turn that we're capping out, even though we're using high cost skills now, things that you don't want to do in an 8 turn setting, but this is a 15 turn setting, and we're capped at 800 points right here, and he's close to death. We're now inside the 25% meter, so if you do not stun him, he will heal for like 1.4 million HP, so you do need to keep him stunned, which is what Albedo is doing. Very well, I might add. So, there we go, guys. I mean, we have another minute and a half of this. We're going to kill, we're going to win. No, we don't get the 12-turn mission, but everyone is alive. Everybody is alive, and that is the important part. So, the Wholehearted Devotion team, not the best thing in the world, but it is capable of delivering you a win. And in the grand scheme of things, that's all that really matters, right? Everybody wants to win. It's just that, do you have the resources to build a team like this? Do you have other options, other orb changers, other supports? I don't know. That's up to your box and up to your wallet. But here, on turn 17, we are very close to hitting the 999 cap. We'd have to go 2 more turns, but he ain't going to live 2 more turns, because we are going to finish him with Albedo's AoE ult, and that will do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this stupid showcase of trying to make Albedo look good. I think I did do a good job of making her look good on this one team. But let me know your thoughts. Where else would you like to try and have me use her to make her look good? Put it in the comments. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.